Hi, welcome back to Everything House. It's Marco again. Today we're going to talk about different kinds of saws. We have a miter saw, a table saw, a circular saw, a sawzall, or reciprocating saw is the technical term, a hacksaw, which is a mod from that, and a multi-tool, which is one of my favorites. So stay tuned and you'll hear about all the differences between all of these. So right now we're going to talk about a table saw. Okay, what is a table saw? Very simple. It's a table that has a saw in the middle. Okay, so the benefits of having a table saw is you can be very precise with your cuts. You have protection with a fence. It's going to hold the wood as you're cutting it. And then as well as it's extremely useful for doing long rips. What does that mean? So if you're cutting a piece of wood longer than, say, 15 inches, right? You need to make a cut longer than that. A table saw is kind of going to what you want to do if you need a precise cut. If you're just doing other things, it doesn't have to be precise. You can get away with a sawzall or a circular saw. But if you're trying to do do cabinetry or custom trim or something where it needs to be very precise, otherwise you'll notice, a table saw is the way to go. By far, hands down, for sure. So if you want to know about a table saw, I have another video where I'm going to go ahead and get down into the nitty-gritty of a table saw, the different parts, accessories you can purchase, and different techniques to use with it. All right, I have a video here, I'm not sure, somewhere on the screen. So now we're talking about a miter saw. Okay, a miter saw is mainly for cross cuts. So you're taking long boards and cutting them down, right? Trim, planking, you can do a lot. Decking, a lot of things can be cut with a miter saw that are way easier than a table saw. For instance, with a miter saw, you're going to put your board up against the fence here, and then you're going to cut. It doesn't really matter as far as how the board is sitting, right? Which makes it very convenient. You have this fence that's going to hold it for you. It's good for doing any kind of custom trim work because you can adjust your angles, whatever you need. Okay, so if you're trying to do a 90 on some baseboard, you're going to need 245s. That's really easy to do, and you can do it two different ways. You can go ahead and go 45 this way, 45 that way, and then also, if you have to, depending on the board, you can also do it this way, if you have to, and cut 45 like that. It's just very versatile, and it's a must. It's always in my truck. I'm always using it. It's a great tool to have. So this is a circular saw. Okay, a circular saw is a very valuable tool. It's portable. Okay, and you can bring it anywhere you want. Let's say a job site or a project or whatever it is. It's great to have because it's not as cumbersome as, say, a miter saw or a table saw, and it can do all the same cuts as these two tools can do. However, a lot of the accuracy and the cut is on the user. So when you're going to make a cut, all right, the accuracy of the cut is going to be determined on how well you can guide the saw, because you can have some movement in here. With these two tools, no, you set up your cut, make your cut, and you're good. So it's more of, I would say, advanced tool for maybe an advanced user, not necessarily beginner, at least until you get comfortable with it. All right, there's certain do's and don'ts about this saw. I have a more detailed video on just circular saws themselves. You can click on the link. It's also cheaper than, say, a table saw and a miter saw. So if you're just getting into it and you don't want to make the investment for the two big boys, then I would say a circular saw is good for you. You just have to learn how to work with it to get the most accurate work possible with it. So this is a sawzall, or more properly named a reciprocating saw. I don't really know where the name sawzall came. I think it was from Milwaukee years ago, and it just stuck. So now all tools of this type, which are actually called reciprocating saws, are called sawzalls. And it's pretty much a universal term. Like Kleenex is actually tissue paper, but you go to anyone in the world and say, do you have a Kleenex? They'll know what you're talking about. Same concept. So the purpose of a sawzall, okay, is it can pretty much cut everything. They have different blades, different lengths, and they have different uses. So it's a great tool to have if you just want to go and just cut something. It's not precise. I don't care how good somebody is with this tool. It'll never be as precise of a cut as with a circular saw, or even better, a table saw or a miter saw. It's more just if you want to just cut something up, and it's great for demo, invaluable for demo. You can stick this right in the wall and go, as long as there's no piping and electrical in it, you can literally go through all your drywall, your studs, and just it'll go through pretty much anything. You'll go through some blades. We can get more into the details about how a reciprocating saw works in this video over here. But it's a great tool to have if you just need to cut something quickly and you don't really care how it looks. You're just trying to cut it. So now we're going to talk about a new tool I've added to my inventory over the past year and a half, something like that. It's called a hacksaw. Okay. Basically, it's a very similar tool as the reciprocating saw. Okay. The difference is this tool is more, if it's a tight area, you need to kind of get a saw in there, or you're going to be using it all day and you need to hold something while you're cutting. Okay. It's great for that. It's just more balanced. Okay. And it's more convenient to use. However, this tool has more power. So if you're trying to cut something that's more dense or thicker, or great for demo again, then this tool is great. However, if you're trying to cut something with one hand, you're talking about a lot of leverage here. You have to hold it to make the cut while you're holding something or what have you, right? Whereas this is more designed for, your hacksaw is more designed for more precision cuts, things that are easier, great for PVC. You can also, this is a metal blade, so you can cut conduit, you can cut lots of things. I wouldn't recommend cutting like rebar. It'll just take, you're going to burn through a blade. You can do it. It's going to take forever. But it's just more of a convenient tool to have in the truck, that's for sure. I do have a video on this, specifically on how I use it and best practices for it. If you want to know, go ahead and click on that. Now we come to one of my favorite tools. This goes into my bag when I go into someone's house right after my impact driver. This tool goes in there. This is called a multi-tool, okay? And it's completely revolutionized the way we remodel things. It's great for remodeling. Because a lot of times when remodeling, you don't have the option of changing framing, changing what's existing. You kind of have to stick with it, but you have to modify it to what you need done. So multi-tool, absolutely every homeowner should have a multi-tool in their house. It's basically what it does is it allows you to do plunge cuts. So what does that mean? Every other saw, you have something you have to start out and then go ahead and cut in, right? Whereas a multi-tool allows you to go ahead and take the blade and you can go right into something and then we'll go ahead and make that precision cut. I'll show you some examples of it in the specific video for this. You can click on the link. However, it's a great tool to have. You need to have one of these. So in this video, we've covered pretty much all the different saws I have, okay? And what that entailed was a miter saw, table saw, reciprocating saw, hacksaw, circular saw, multi-tool. I do have separate videos on each tool if you want to know more in depth about that specific one. That'd be great. Please go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel if you have not, and I'd be very grateful. Please, if you have any comments or questions, put them in the comments. I do like to read them, and I'd be happy to answer them. If you want a specific video on something, or so you have a project and you can't really figure out the best way to go about it, go ahead and reach out. I'd be happy to give you some guidance or maybe even do a video on it. Because if you're asking, someone else out there wants to know too, I promise. So hope to see you guys in the next video.